Something terrible, but I don't want to talk about it.
Good, we don't want to hear about it.
Come on, Timon. Anything we can do?
Not unless you can change the past.
Remember when you first watched The Lion King? That feeling of wonder and magic? Well, get ready to experience it all over again as we take you on a journey that will change how you see your favorite childhood movie. Picture yourself in a dark theater, the opening scene unfolding, when suddenly you notice something unexpected in the background. I've been obsessed with The Lion King for years, but it wasn't until I spotted this odd detail that everything shifted. Now, I can't unsee the clues, and I bet you won't be able to either. Are you ready to join me in uncovering the biggest secret in Disney history? Picture that iconic scene from The Lion King where baby Simba is held up for all to see. It's a moment we've all watched countless times, right? But what if there's something hidden in plain sight during Simba's big moment? Something that could change everything we thought we knew about the royal family of Pride Rock? Let's take a closer look at that scene. As Rafiki lifts Simba high into the air and the animals bow down, our eyes are naturally drawn to the tiny cub. But there's more going on in this scene than meets the eye. In the background behind Pride Rock, a mysterious shape catches our attention. At first glance, it might seem like part of the landscape, but as we zoom in, we start to see something incredible. The outline of a lion begins to take shape, but it's not Mufasa or Scar. This is someone new, someone we've never seen before in the Lion King story. This shadowy figure has features similar to Mufasa, the same strong jaw, the same regal posture, but it's definitely not him. The unknown lion seems to be watching the ceremony with a sad expression, longing to join in, but unable to do so. Why would a strange lion be allowed so close during such an important event? The only explanation that makes sense is that they must be part of the family. But if that's true, why haven't we ever heard about them before? Could this be a relative we've never known about? Maybe an older sibling of Simba's? If there's another royal family member, why haven't we seen them in any other part of the movie? What happened to make everyone forget about them? This mysterious figure might be the key to unlocking a whole new part of the Lion King story. What if Simba wasn't the only heir to the throne? What if there was an older brother or sister who was supposed to be next in line? That would change everything we thought we knew about Simba's journey to become king. But if there really is another royal family member, why have they been kept secret? What could have happened to make the Pride forget about them? Maybe there was some kind of family drama we never knew about, or maybe something terrible happened that made it too painful for anyone to talk about this lost royal. Were they banished from Pride Rock? Did they choose to leave on their own? Or have they been there all along, watching over the Pride from the shadows, unable to take their rightful place for some mysterious reason? This discovery opens up a whole new world of possibilities for the Lion King story. What if this forgotten royal has been influencing events from behind the scenes all along? We could be looking at a whole new layer of family drama and political intrigue that we never knew existed. And what about Scar? Did he know about this other royal family member? Maybe that's why he was so desperate to get rid of Simba, because he knew there was another potential heir out there who could challenge his claim to the throne. As we think about all these possibilities, it's like the entire Lion King story is transforming before our eyes. Every scene we thought we knew so well suddenly has new meaning. That moment when Mufasa is showing Simba the kingdom, was he leaving out part of the story? When Simba runs away after Mufasa's death, was there another royal watching from the shadows, unable to step in and help? This shadowy figure behind Pride Rock could be the missing piece that ties everything together. It's like we've stumbled upon a secret that changes the entire Lion King universe. Who is this mysterious lion? What's their story? And how will knowing about them change the way we see Simba's journey to become king? Now that we've spotted that mysterious lion, the whole movie has changed. Have you ever noticed how some scenes in The Lion King seem a bit off? Let's take another look at some key moments and see if we can find more clues about our forgotten prince. Remember when Mufasa is teaching Simba about the kingdom, there's this moment where he hesitates, like he's about to say something really important, but then he stops himself. What if Mufasa was gonna mention another heir? Maybe there's a reason he couldn't talk about this other lion. And what about Scar? When he's plotting with the hyenas, he talks about getting rid of the competition. We always thought he meant Simba, but what if there was someone else he was worried about? Someone who had an even better claim to the throne? Let's think about Simba's big musical number, I Just Can't Wait to Be King. He's so excited about being first in line for the throne, but what if that's not actually true? What if there was someone else who should have been king before him? It would explain why some of the animals in the song look kind of confused. There's another weird moment you might have missed. When Rafiki is drawing Simba on his tree, his smile suddenly drops and his eyes look sad for just a second. It's super quick, but it's there. What if he's thinking about someone else? Someone who should have been the next king but disappeared. And then there's the scene where Simba comes back as an adult. Some of the lionesses look really confused, like they were expecting someone different. What if they thought the real heir was coming back instead? All these little moments start to add up. They paint a picture of a forgotten prince who should have been king. But why would everyone pretend this other heir doesn't exist? What happened to make them disappear from the story? Maybe there was some big family drama we never got to see. Or maybe something really bad happened that made everyone decide to keep this other lion a secret. It's like there's a whole other story happening behind the scenes of the movie we know and love. Think about how this changes everything we thought we knew about the Lion King. If there's another heir out there, it means Simba's whole journey is different. He might be taking someone else's spot without even knowing it. It makes you wonder about all the other characters too. Did Zazu know about this other heir? Is that why he's always so nervous and fussy? And what about Timon and Pumbaa? Maybe they know more than they're letting on. After all, they found Simba in the middle of nowhere. What if they were actually looking for this other lion instead? The more we look at these clues, the more questions we have. Every scene could have a double meaning. Every character could be hiding a secret. But the biggest question is still why? Why would everyone go along with pretending this other heir doesn't exist? What could have happened that was so terrible it made an entire kingdom erase someone from their history? And what if this forgotten prince is still out there somewhere? Maybe he's been watching everything that's happened, waiting for the right moment to come back. It could explain that shadowy figure we saw at the beginning. Maybe he's been there all along, just out of sight. But wait, what if there's more to this story than we ever imagined? What if Simba had an older brother who was the true heir to Pride Rock? Let's picture this forgotten prince growing up alongside Mufasa and Scar, the eldest of the three brothers. This lost prince, let's call him Kopa, was everything a future king should be. He had Mufasa's kindness and wisdom, and Scar's sharp mind and cunning. Kopa was the perfect mix of both his uncles, making him the ideal choice to rule the Pride Lands. But having such a perfect heir around made Scar even more jealous and determined to take the throne for himself. What if Scar's first attempt to get rid of the competition wasn't against Simba at all, but against Kopa? Picture a young Scar, his jealousy eating away at him, leading his older brother Kopa into danger. Maybe he tricked him into going to the elephant graveyard, or convinced him to explore the gorge during the rainy season. But things didn't go exactly as Scar planned. Kopa might have been badly injured in whatever trap Scar set for him, or maybe he realized what Scar was up to and had to flee the Pride Lands to save his own life. Either way, the true heir to Pride Rock disappeared, leaving everyone to believe Mufasa's next cub would be the future king. This would explain why Mufasa seems so overprotective of Simba in the movie we all know. He's already lost one son and can't bear the thought of losing another. Every time Mufasa looks at Simba, he probably sees a little bit of Kopa in him, making him even more determined to keep Simba safe. But if Kopa is still alive out there somewhere, why hasn't he come back to claim his rightful place as king? Maybe he doesn't know Mufasa is gone. Or what if he's been watching from afar this whole time, waiting for the right moment to return? The existence of this lost prince changes everything we thought we knew about the Lion King story. It adds a whole new layer to Scar's villainy, and makes Mufasa's character even more complex. Imagine the guilt he must have felt, not being able to protect his firstborn son. What about the other animals in the Pride Lands? Do any of them remember Kopa? Maybe that's why some of the animals looked confused during Simba's "I just can't wait to be king" number. They might have been wondering why this younger cub was singing about being king when they remembered an older prince. And what about Rafiki? As the wise old shaman of the Pride Lands, he must know something about Kopa's fate. Maybe that's why he looked sad for a moment while drawing Simba on his tree. He could be thinking about the prince who should have been king. This theory could even explain some of Zazu's behavior. His nervousness and constant worrying might be a result of the trauma of losing the first prince he was supposed to serve and protect. And when Timon and Pumbaa found Simba in the desert, maybe they were actually looking for Kopa, having heard rumors of a lost lion prince. The idea of a lost prince adds new meaning to Simba's journey. When he runs away after Mufasa's death, maybe he's following in his older brother's footsteps without even realizing it. And when he returns as an adult, some lionesses might look confused because they were expecting a different heir, the one they remember from years ago. All of this makes us wonder, what really happened to Copa? Is he still out there somewhere, watching over the Pride Lands? These questions change the whole Lion King story, turning it from a simple tale of a young cub becoming king into a complex saga of lost heirs, hidden dangers, and long-buried secrets. Picture this, a whole kingdom pretending that Simba's older brother never existed. It's like someone tore a page from the story of the Pride Lands, leaving a gaping hole in the royal family's history. But why would they go to such extreme lengths to hide the truth? There must have been a pretty big reason for a father to pretend his firstborn never existed. Maybe Scar had already done something terrible to Copa. What if he threatened to hurt the lost prince if anyone ever mentioned him again? That would explain why everyone was so scared to talk about him. Can you imagine how hard it must have been for Mufasa and Sarabi to act like they only had one cub? Or what if Mufasa thought his eldest son was already dead? Maybe there was some kind of accident or attack that everyone thought Copa didn't survive. They might have decided it was easier to never talk about it than to relive the pain every day. And when Simba was born, they probably saw it as a chance to start over and keep their new cub safe from whatever happened to Copa. Now think about all the other animals in the Pride Lands. They must have known about Copa too. What if Mufasa made them all promise to never mention Copa again? He could have told them it was to protect the royal family or to keep Simba safe. That would explain why characters like Zazu and Rafiki sometimes seem like they know more than they're saying. Remember how Zazu always looks so nervous? Maybe he's always worried he'll accidentally say something about Copa. And Rafiki, he's supposed to be this wise old shaman who knows everything, but he never mentions Copa either. What if he's the one who helped Mufasa come up with the plan to keep Copa a secret? But here's where it gets really interesting. What if some of the lionesses didn't agree with keeping Copa a secret? That could explain why they didn't fully accept Scar as king. Maybe they were still loyal to Copa, wherever he was. They might have been hoping he would come back someday and take his rightful place as king. And the hyenas, what if they were part of this big cover-up too? That could be why Scar promised them so much in return for their help. Maybe he told them he'd let them into the Pride Lands if they helped him get rid of Copa and keep it a secret. This whole conspiracy of silence would have shaped everything that happened in the Lion King story. Everyone was walking on eggshells, trying not to let the truth slip out. Can you imagine how different things would have been if Simba had known he had an older brother? He might not have run away after Mufasa died. He might have tried to find Copa instead. And what about when Simba came back as an adult? Remember how some of the lionesses looked confused? What if they were expecting Copa to come back instead? This conspiracy could even explain why Scar was so bitter and wanted the throne so badly. Now, maybe he thought he deserved to be king more than Simba because he knew about Copa. He might have thought that since he got rid of the first heir, he should get to be king instead of Mufasa's second son. But wait, what if Copa didn't actually disappear forever? We've been thinking about Simba's long-lost brother and imagining what could have happened to him. What if the true heir to Pride Rock has been out there all this time, watching and waiting for the perfect moment to return? Picture this, Copa, badly injured but not defeated, manages to escape the Pride Lands after Scar's evil plan. He finds himself in a distant jungle, far beyond the borders of his father's kingdom. Copa has to learn to survive on his own, just like Simba did with Timon and Pumbaa. But Copa's journey is different because he never forgets who he is or where he came from. Instead, he uses his time in exile to heal and prepare for the day he can reclaim his rightful place as king. As the years go by, Copa watches from afar as Scar takes over the Pride Lands. He sees the devastation and suffering his uncle brings to his former home, but Copa knows he can't return yet. He's not strong enough to challenge Scar, and he doesn't want to put the other lions in danger, so he waits and he learns, growing stronger and wiser with each passing day. What if Copa wasn't alone all this time? Maybe he's been making allies in other animal kingdoms, gathering support for his eventual return. Imagine Copa traveling from place to place, sharing his story with other animals who have been wronged or driven from their homes. He could be building a network of friends and supporters, all ready to help him when the time is right. But here's a wild thought. What if Timon and Pumbaa weren't just Simba's random jungle friends? What if they met Copa first and have been keeping his secret all along? That could explain why they were so quick to take in Simba when they found him in the desert. And remember when Nala left the Pride Lands to find help? We all assumed she was looking for any savior, but what if she had a specific lost prince in mind? The whole story of the Lion King might have been hiding an even bigger secret right under our noses. Now here's where things get really complicated. Copa has been watching and waiting all this time, and suddenly he sees his little brother Simba return to challenge Scar. Can you imagine how conflicted he must feel? On one hand, he's probably overjoyed to see Simba alive and proud that his brother is stepping up to save their kingdom. But on the other hand, Copa might be struggling with whether he should reveal himself or let Simba rule. Think about it. Copa is the rightful heir, the firstborn son of Mufasa. He's spent years preparing to be a great leader, learning from his mistakes and the hardships he's faced. But Simba has already taken on the role of king, and the Pride Lands seem to be thriving under his rule. What should Copa do? If Copa decides to return, it could bring both joy and conflict to the Pride Lands. Just picture the shock and amazement on everyone's faces when they see the long-lost prince standing atop Pride Rock. The lionesses who remember him from when he was a cub would be overjoyed. Rafiki would probably do backflips of excitement. But then there's Simba. How would he react to learning he has an older brother and that the throne isn't really his? Would he be willing to step aside and let Copa take his rightful place as king? Or would this revelation create a rift between the brothers, threatening the peace and stability of the Pride Lands? Okay, so we've been talking about this lost prince and how he might change the Lion King story, but what if it's even bigger than that? What if Mufasa's death was about more than Scar wanting to be king? Maybe there's something deeper going on here, something that could change everything we thought we knew about the Pride Lands and the lions who lived there. Think about it for a second. If there really was another heir out there, someone older than Simba, that would make Scar even more desperate to get rid of Mufasa. It's about making sure no one else can come back and take the throne from him. That's why he had to act so fast and why he was so determined to get rid of Simba too. He couldn't risk anyone finding out about the Lost Prince, or worse, the Lost Prince coming back to claim what was rightfully his. This breakthrough forces us to reconsider Simba's whole journey. If he's not actually the rightful heir, then his time in the jungle takes on a whole new meaning. Maybe it was about finding himself and figuring out who he really is if he's not the true king. And when he comes back to the Pride Lands, he's stepping into a role that might not even be his to begin with. That's some heavy stuff for a lion to deal with. In light of these new possibilities, what about that whole circle of life thing? We always thought it was about the natural order of things, but what if it's bigger than that? What if it's about family secrets coming to light and the truth always finding a way to come out? That would explain why everything in the Pride Lands felt so off balance when Scar was in charge. It wasn't just because he was a bad king, it was because the whole system was built on lies and secrets. Now let's talk about Scar for a minute. What if he was actually terrified of the Lost Prince coming back? That would explain why he was so paranoid and why he kept the hyenas around all the time. He was trying to make sure no one else could get in either. And remember how weird some of the other lions acted when Simba came back? They seemed confused, like they were expecting someone else. Well, now we know why. They were probably wondering why it wasn't the other prince, the one they thought would come back and save them from Scar. But here's the really crazy part. What if that famous roar at the end of the movie is actually a signal to his long-lost brother? Maybe Simba found out about him somehow and he's letting him know it's safe to come home. That would be a pretty amazing twist, wouldn't it? So if all of this is true, if there really is a lost prince out there somewhere, it changes everything about the Lion King story. It's like a mirror that cracks to reveal hidden layers behind the reflection. The story we thought we knew so well suddenly has new depths and mysteries. It's not just about Simba growing up and becoming king anymore. It's about family secrets and lost heirs and the true meaning of what it means to be a leader. It's crazy to think about how one little detail like a lost prince could change so much about a story we thought we knew so well. It makes you wonder what other secrets might be hiding in the Pride Lands just waiting to be discovered. Maybe there are even more twists and turns we haven't even thought of yet. The Lost Prince of Pride Rock could be Disney's biggest secret, reshaping our understanding of the Lion King. Next time you watch, focus on Simba's interactions with other lions and listen for any mentions of a missing cub. These clues might prove this theory once and for all, but the Lion King may just be the beginning. What if Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, or Mulan also hide secret characters or untold backstories? The possibilities are endless, and it's up to us fans to uncover these hidden treasures. What do you think about this theory? Share your thoughts and let's unravel this mystery together. Who knows what we might discover next in our favorite childhood movies?